Hello, I'm Gautam, and I've been a developer on CSGO for the last 9 years. Today I'm going to talk to you about how we communicate with our customers. The way we do that on CSGO is mostly through game updates. Before we dive in, let's go over what CSGO is today. CSGO is a game with over 20 million monthly players. One of the primary goals of our service is retention, keeping players happy by providing them with meaningful updates to their experience. Over its 9 years, CSGO has constantly evolved as a product, and we've learned a lot about our community. But the main way we communicate has remained the same. It is through updates to the game. There's lots of reasons why you might want to talk about your product, for example, marketing or entertainment. In this case, by communicate, we're specifically talking about how we describe to our customers the current state of the game and how that state will change in the near and long term. What we'll cover today is why updates are our main communication tool over other methods, and we'll walk through a practical example from CSGO's launch. And briefly, we'll go over some other methods and types of communication we use, like our blog and Steam events. We think CSGO is better when we get clear, unfiltered customer feedback. We read and analyze this feedback our customers post on various online communities, but as they know, we rarely participate in those conversations. When we participate, they stop talking to each other and they start talking to us, and the feedback becomes less clear. Occasionally, we weigh in if they seem blocked or we need some more information, but otherwise, we just stay out of it. In reality, when customers want to talk to us, it's because they're unhappy with something about the service. For example, if customers are talking about a bug, the best response we can make is to fix the bug and update the game as soon as possible. We avoid talking about future plans for the game or even how we intend to fix a particular bug, because future plans can always change. A bug might require more work than we expected, or a fix may have unexpected consequences. The community's interests change over time as well. If we promised a feature or solution to a problem, we'd constrain what the team could ship and be less responsive to when our priorities or the community's priorities change. In those cases, if we broke our promise or shipped a different solution, even if it took us longer than expected, we would start to erode the trust and possibly lose the opportunity to provide customers with more value. Also, when we make these promises about the future, customers start thinking about the game's future and not how it is now. It's easy to imagine how you might communicate about your product when things are going well. But with any games as a service, you have to plan for some challenging times, and CSGO is no exception. So we tend to think about the communication strategies we would use during those challenging times. In those times, we don't think we could make customers happy just by talking to them. We'd have to ship them updates and fix the issues. By keeping customer feedback clear and avoiding the pitfall of promises, we're in a better position to be more flexible and to make the best decisions for the long term of the product. Now, because we don't regularly communicate outside the context of updates, what goes in each update is just as important, and it tells everyone what we think is important about the game. Our goal is that updates reflect the conversations our customers are having, and they communicate what we think is important for the long-term success of the game. There's nearly an endless list of directions we can take the product and features we invest in. There's also a wide variety of interests our customers have, ranging from esports, gameplay, cosmetic items, and the game's performance. So prioritization of what we work on becomes a critical part of the development process. How do we prioritize? Well, we start by reading a wide range of community feedback. We learn from CSGO-focused communities, as well as other communities where CSGO users go and talk to customers about it. This isn't an individual's job on the team. The people who gather this feedback and interpret it are the CSGO devs themselves. It is important that the devs are reading this as it directly feeds into what they'll work on. That feedback is great at pointing out pain points in the game experience. But when it comes to finding solutions or even the underlying problems to those pain points, analyzing player behavior is our most useful tool. We collect data on a wide range of player behaviors, including time spent in different game modes, weapon usage, and connectivity to our data centers. Ever since we launched back in 2012, this combination of feedback and analytics has helped us prioritize our updates. When we launched the game, we had already started planning for future updates, which we predicted would line up with our customers' expectations. We had plans for esports, a map workshop, item customization, and other gameplay features. But we followed our communication strategy, and we didn't talk about these publicly because we wanted the flexibility to react to our customers' feedback and data. Many games, when they launch, face unexpected problems, and it's important to be agile during that time. When we launched, our unexpected problem was a critical one: players not sticking around. We had attracted new players, but we weren't retaining them, and this became an urgent concern. If we didn't improve retention quickly, we'd lose the critical mass you need for players to find each other and have good matches. During this time, we had lots of great feedback from the community in relation to gameplay, UI, maps, but we could see with our data that retention, a main goal of ours, was falling. The actions of our customers shifted our priorities for us. And because we hadn't committed to a specific promise of future features, we had the flexibility to act on those new priorities. If we didn't have any players, we would have a hard time helping to grow esports, and there would be no need for a maps workshop and no customers who would want to customize their items. So we decided to prioritize a new matchmaking system that brought players of equal skill together. We did act on other gameplay feedback during this time, but analyzing and iterating on matchmaking was the main focus. If we did a better job helping them find each other and make better matches for them, they would enjoy playing CSGO more and stick around a lot longer. So we shipped a new matchmaking system about a month after we launched the game. We kept iterating on matchmaking and adding features to it, and it did improve our retention. We were still losing players, but we found the vast majority of those players who left had never tried matchmaking. Most of the players who played matches stuck with the game, and looking at the data, we had confidence that it was driving our improved retention. There was a window of opportunity after CSGO launched where we had our customers' attention, and being flexible let us make important changes the game needed to survive. There is a component of updates that we haven't really talked about, which is how we communicate that update to customers. While we avoid making promises and getting involved, we do need to tell them how we have changed the game. We consider this communication as an important part of the update itself, and we spend a considerable amount of time crafting that message and even iterate on it as we iterate on the actual update. The main way our customers learn about these is in the CSGO client. The client has a news feed on the main page, and it features our most recent update posts. When we have large events, like our operations or a CSGO major, we want to make sure our customers see it, so we update the UI and client to reflect these changes and make sure they know the event is active. For tournaments, we'll host streams in the game so people can enjoy the tournaments between their own matches. Large updates, such as operations, will also have websites that explain all of their features extensively. We link to them from in-game, and we find most of the time a lot of the traffic comes just from in-game. So most of the time, we stick to updates and in-game communication, but sometimes we do use other methods. We do this when customers need to take some action or prepare for a new Steam policy, or somewhere outside they have to change some information. Sometimes we want customers to be informed about something that is happening now or in the future, such as partner events and tournaments. We want to highlight some community content also. Depending on what we're trying to communicate, we will use a few different outlets. We dipped our toe into social media, and we find it useful for providing CSGO fans with entertainment connectivity outside of the client. But we don't know how to use it to solve that specific communication problem of keeping customers informed about the game state. For that problem, we lean on in-game communication. Currently, we use Twitter to highlight community and esports content, and that content just seems better suited for that platform than in client. Just being on Steam provides a network effect for us. It's not just talking to customers, but customers connecting with each other and sharing their experience. The workshop lets Steam customers be creative and share their art with the CSGO community. Lots of great weapon finishes and maps have made their way into the game and originated in the workshop. Customers use items from the points shop to decorate their avatars and profiles, show off stickers and chat. And the friends list has rich presence where you can even see your friend's progress on a CSGO competitive match. There's also community hubs, achievements, markets, and most recently, we've been using Steam events and announcements to talk about our game updates. Steam events work similarly to our blog posts, but allow us to reach a wide audience on Steam. This includes active customers, ones who may have taken a break from the game, and new ones that are just browsing looking for a new game to sink into. Events and announcements show up in a variety of places on Steam. The What's New section in the library is useful for engaging players and tells them about an update when they're considering launching the game. The feed view is great for catching up on recent updates. Overall, it's a good way of letting them know the game is still in active development. Since we approach Steam events and announcements similarly to our blog, we tend to use similar content for it. That's an overview of how we think about CSGO's communication. This is what's worked for us. But we're always reevaluating the trade-offs in different forms of communication, and while we hope this talk is useful to you, we expect you'll find your own way through these trade-offs towards your own solution. Thank you.